Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
And we start with a bombshell ruling tonight. Colorado's Supreme Court decides former President Donald Trump should not be allowed on the state's primary ballot in 2024. The announcement throwing the 2024 presidential election into high turmoil tonight. We're glad you're with us. I'm Devin Skillian.
I'm Kimberly Gill. For the first time in history, a section of the 14th Amendment is being used to keep a candidate from running for president. The Colorado court ruled that because of Donald Trump's role in the events of January 6th, not only can his name not appear on that state's ballot, but write-in votes cannot be considered either. So in other words, he can't receive any votes for president in the Rocky Mountain state because in the eyes of the court, he's not eligible to be president.
Now, Donald Trump and his legal team took no time at all in promising to appeal the ruling while at his rally in Iowa tonight, a ruling that basically forces the issue into the hands of the U.S. Supreme Court. In the meantime, RNC Chairwoman Ronna McDaniel posted to X the Republican Party will help Trump in his legal fight, calling the ruling irresponsible. She went on to say, quote, the Republican nominee will be decided by Republican voters, not a partisan state court. Now, the ramifications could spill over, though, well beyond the Colorado borders. That's because a number of states, including Michigan, have seen efforts to use the 14th Amendment to knock Trump off the ballot. In the Michigan case, a court of claims judge rejected the argument, but that decision is currently under appeal. Should the Supreme Court take up the matter, their decision would likely decide the issue everywhere.
Tonight, a Detroit police officer stands accused of killing an elderly man by punching him in the face. The Wayne County prosecutor filed charges against that 29-year-old officer today. This all started September 1st when that officer responded to a call at a popular Midtown business. Mara McDonald is live at police headquarters. Mara, these manslaughter charges led to that officer being fired, correct?
Well, that's what DPD is telling us. They're confirming that he has been fired as of tonight. That said, DPD also tells us that he is appealing that termination on the same night that Kim Worthy charged him with a 15-year felony. Let me show you. This has been brewing since September 1st. That's when the Garden Bowl called police asking for help with a 71-year-old customer who wouldn't leave, was causing problems, and they thought he was potentially armed. Officer Juwan Marquise Alexander Brown was on duty and was dispatched to take the call. Well, when he got to the Garden Bowl, the prosecutor says it was the officer who was the aggressor and escalated instead of diffused the situation with that 71-year-old man. He got him out of the bowling alley, and then while they were on the sidewalk, the officer allegedly punched him in the face. He fell to the ground and hit his head. He died 20 days later, and the ME says it was blunt force trauma to the head that killed him. Tonight, DPD says in part, Mr. Brown has been terminated from the Detroit Police Department as a result of his actions on September 1st, 2023. Back here live, we are expecting our first look at that officer tomorrow morning, 36th District Court. That's when he's scheduled to be arraigned on that manslaughter charge. We're live at Detroit Police Headquarters tonight. I'm Mara McDonald. Local 4. Yeah,
all right, Mara. The second shift is canceled tonight at Factory Zero that straddles the border of Detroit and Hamtramck due to a fire.
General Motors shut down production after some lithium-ion batteries sparked near the loading dock of the 4.5 million square foot facility. According to GM's website, about 1,800 people work at the factory, which produces the GMC Hummer all-electric pickup and SUV and the Chevy Silverado EV work truck. GM says all employees are safe and that the company is investigating the situation and will share more details once available.
It's been a nightmare for drivers, business owners, and residents for 28 months now, but as of tomorrow, it is officially over. We are talking about the $220 million renovation project on Mound Road through Sterling Heights and Warren. Construction began back in August of 2021. It has been going strong ever since. The county is going to celebrate the opening of Innovate Mound tomorrow, one of the most technologically advanced roadways in the country. But local businesses are already reacting to the reopening. Many of them have struggled for some time. Jacqueline Francis live now with more on what they're saying. Over 2 years in the making, Jacqueline.
Devin, we can tell you and we can show you Mound Road is finally open. All 8 lanes going across there. You can see those cars zooming by. Now, we're going to talk about the businesses that have been impacted. We'll let you go by. As this has not been easy on drivers or businesses, we're here at Warren Market, and they're right off Mound Road. We're going to talk to Brian here. He's been working here throughout this process, and he can tell us firsthand what's been going on. Brian, what did this do for business, all this construction?
Well, we lost probably, I'd say, about a third of our business easily due to the low traffic rate. A lot of people avoided this area heavily because of the fact that the construction wasn't allowing turnarounds within 1 mile. You'd have to go out of your way just to turn around. And it slowly saw a drop in business, probably about a third of what we would averagely do.
So now you're happy it's reopened. That'll be good for business. But you do have some concerns because they took out a traffic light that was right outside the store.
Yeah, we used to have a traffic light right out front of our store. It was for the southbound turnaround. It'd been there for well over 30, 40 years. And it pretty much was, when you look at how you come off of Mound, off on the 696, normally you used to shoot across 2 lanes. Now you're going to have to shoot across 4 lanes. They shortened the distance, and yet they haven't put any lights in. And a lot of the people are ignoring the fact they feel like it's a freeway, and they're speeding rapidly down the road with 0 brakes in the actual traffic intervals.
Thank you so much for that. And county officials tomorrow are going to be taking questions as they celebrate the opening of the Mound Road project. So that's certainly something that can be brought up then. That celebration is tomorrow at 11 in the morning. Reporting live from Warren, Jacqueline Francis, Local 4.
So many people are going to be happy with this news. All right, Jacqueline, thank you so much. Well, we told you at 5 o'clock, if you're heading downtown for a night out or afternoon in the D, you better double check where you're parking.
Starting in 2024, there will be 3 new residential parking zones in the city. That means residents in these areas will have permits. Those who don't will need to follow the posted restrictions.
Yeah, and it can be kind of confusing, and not surprisingly, our viewers have a lot to say about these changes. So we made some phone calls to try to get some answers for you here.
First off, Bill asked about parking in Brush Park on Sundays, more specifically near Ford Field. Don't worry, Bill. We looked closely at the policy, and the parking department will only focus on safety-related parking violations on Sundays. That means people parking in front of fire hydrants, bus stops, anything that says no parking. That's generally a bad idea, or in front of anybody's driveways. Now, another viewer with the screen name 505 Gibbs, Jameer Gibbs, says he supports the changes, calling them long overdue.
But wants to know how Detroiters can get a residential permit if they don't have a computer or smartphone. Very good question, Gibbs. And I'm happy to tell you we found out that you can apply in person. If you can't use the parkdetroit.us website or the Park Detroit app, you just go in person. The Detroit Municipal Parking Department is located on the corner of West Lafayette Boulevard and 10th Street.